Hi. Today I wanted to talk about revenue per head, not in a theoretical sense, but how you can use this metric to help manage your agency in a cost of living crisis. So, the biggest challenge facing a lot of agencies at the moment is how to balance off profitability against looking after their people, both from a pastoral point of view, but also from a retention point of view, and how that obviously has an impact on the revenue they need to generate to pay for that. So, uh, and I think it's important that it's looked at together. I think, especially in my experience with agencies, sometimes we look at the cost side separately from the overall commercial model, the overall commercial position. And I think it's important to think about, okay, this is how we're going to look after people, and this is what it means that we have to do in terms of improving our revenue generation, our revenue per head. And so this is a 20 person agency, 20 FTE, full time equivalents, salaries, and then I put a salary increment column in there, and then worked out what the salary cost per head is in there. I've done a bit of rounding to make sure that the numbers don't get too sticky. But this rev cost per head feeds through. Let me just move myself over there. Feeds through into the other per head metrics. So revenue per head, overheads per head, profit per head, 20% margin. Let's imagine we're in that nice, comfortable position. So this is what our P&L looks like. And so, there will be, when we come up either to a half-year review or a quarterly review or even individual review, what impact does increasing salaries have on our profit? It's going to reduce it unless we offset it with revenue. So let's look at, maybe we obviously it wouldn't probably be as simple as this. It would be more a individual basis, but if we increase these by 5,000, you can see that our cost per head goes up a little bit more than 5,000 because of national insurance, payroll taxes. And so actually our profitability drops down by from 20 to 12.1. So we can afford it in this instance, but we're squeezing it. So that's something that we have to do. So we need to offset that. Let's say we need to increase our revenue per head by 5,000. Bumps up our revenue because this revenue goes up from 1.5 million to 5. At the moment, it's a model. I'll come on to how we use the metric. But this is the challenge. We need to get our profitability up, and we probably need to get it up to, let's say, 7,500. So £5,000 increase cost per head. To retain the same margin, we need to increase our revenue by 7,500. The absolute level of profitability will obviously go up, but the margin will remain the same. So we can begin to see the challenge. And so it's, okay, this is what I need to do on the cost side, but we also need to look on the revenue side. So the challenge for any agency owner, and hopefully for the senior management group, is, okay, this is what we would like to do. What are we going to do to improve that revenue bit? Maybe historically we were at 70, 75,000. How do we get that up to 80 to 85,000? And that's a challenge because we want to pay people more, we want to look after them, but we can only afford to do it if we improve our profitability and improve our revenue per head. And so I've just marked down a few things here, some of which aren't in my wheelhouse, but I firmly believe the longer I do this, the more firmly I believe that we have to go back, as I say, back in time, back to the beginning to make sure that our positioning is aligned with marketing, so that we know who we want to talk to, we know what we want to say to them, and we've got a convincing reason about why they should choose us, and where people who are likely to buy our services, where they get their information, and where they're likely to come across us. And then we consistently share and consistently market those people. And I included CRM management in there because I think we individual little bits of the marketing need to be joined up, and we need to be, whether it's capturing emails or following up conversations, or we need to have that CRM, and we need to have a professional cutting edge to our marketing. Pricing and rate card, obviously. Pricing, looking at what we're charging and how we're charging, and see if there's an opportunity for one of our services to be, let's say, value priced or output priced, increasing our rate card for new clients, moving from a blended to an individual rate card, increasing our rate card across the patch, identifying where we can do with existing clients. So there's a whole bunch of activity there in pricing and rate card, and then project management, which is a kind of catch-all term for identifying where we're losing money delivering client work, whether that's, it could be underestimating, it could be over servicing, it could be scope creep, and how we can, through good project management, how we can tighten up on that. And I'm going to use the efficiency word on that. I make no excuse for using that. Sometimes it's played off against innovation as if the two are exclusive. They're not. We can be innovative and we can be efficient. And I think we owe it to ourselves to acknowledge that, but also that we need to be efficient. We need to be commercial. We need to deliver projects and we need to deliver margins. And so I think when we come to look at the per head summary again, I think thinking about it in, I'm going to use the holistic word and I apologize, look at it holistically. We'd all like to give higher salaries. We'd all like to pay our people more. The only way we can do that is but in the look for the long term and to give people the stability, because you can give the people a pay rise, but if we go bust, that's no good. The only way we can give long-term stability and long-term protection and long-term salary increases is by improving our revenue per head. And so I've given you 4 instances. I'm sure there are others. Please let me know what you're doing to improve your revenue generation. So hopefully that gives you some food for thought. If you'd like this spreadsheet, the agency per head planning spreadsheet, please let me know. It's quite simple to mock up if you want to do it yourself. If this is useful, please press like and subscribe. Thanks for your time. Bye for now.